Welcome to today's Seidokan Saturday. It's really cold in my dojo right now. For the sound factor, I have to turn the heater off, and I haven't had it running long enough to be really warm in here yet. But here we go. So, kicking combinations now for goal cue, fifth cue. The next one is the front kick to roundhouse kick combination. Basically, it's just I throw a front kick, pivot, throw a roundhouse kick with the same leg, and then come down. Same thing on the opposite side. This is a great sparring style combination. Really good to use on the bag. Fun working, kick low, and then come around. But it also brings into play a couple of concepts. How you perform or teach the roundhouse kick. Saw a great video recently from another karate guy. It's not one of the big YouTube presences, but he was talking about kata versus henka, the strict form versus altering the form. Kind of got into that with some people in a conversation and discussion regarding the back kick. Do I keep my leg perfectly in line and my toes perfectly straight down? Yes, that's the kata version. But there is always, on any technique, a henka. So how you start, what your styles or your dojo, even within Seidokan we have variations, what your dojo version of the kata of mawashi geri may vary. So you can go back and see my original video on this, but the way I typically teach mawashi geri, roundhouse kick, is I bring the knee to the side and around. Once the knee reaches the front toward my target, that's when the foot will snap out and back. I also, even within that, teach a version where my hip is less committed and we use the ball of the foot, which I call the short roundhouse kick. So I'm not all the way around with my hip, but my knee comes here and we hit with just the ball of the foot. And typically I'll do the little counter twist of the shoulders with that one. This one allows me to be in fairly close to my target and still throw a roundhouse kick. Some styles will teach basically this combination of lifting the kick, the knee as if to do a front kick and then rotating into the roundhouse kick. It's a little less efficient, and in my personal estimation and in my capacity to perform it, not as powerful as coming all the way around. So that's some people's traditional version, is to lift to the front and then pivot with the kick. So if you do it that way, this combination actually is already kind of easy because we're just lifting and actually throwing the kick before we come around and throw the roundhouse. So depending on how you teach your roundhouse kick, this may vary. Now, we can then go into the Muay Thai, the Thai boxing roundhouse kick, which very much leads, barely chambers the leg at all, but very much leads with the hip and swings through. And so in practice, we actually go all the way through with the kick. We can also then change angles. We can kick upward with the roundhouse. Another variation of the Thai boxing, or the Muay Thai, is downward, slicing into and through the thigh. So again, if I were on the bag, my version, straight around, just the roundhouse kick. A henka version would be the combination here, straight in, and then turn the kick. Another henka, or variation, alteration, would be kicking at an up angle. A third would be coming down angle, like cutting into an opponent's thigh. So how you throw this combination largely depends on how you deliver each of the individual kicks. At my dojo, over the course of time, not all at once, so as not to overwhelm students trying to understand basic concepts at the beginning, but over time, we will do all of those variations and versions, okay? Both the front kick But even when we lift here, I'm already partially pivoting this foot, okay? If I'm throwing just the front kick, this foot stays pretty much stationary. But the henka for front kick, do we kick purely ball of the foot? Is it asoko mai geri with the top of the foot? Or what's often called kinteki geri, kinteki being the boy region right here. So we can do asoko or kinteki. We can do mai geri keage. We can do mai geri kekomi, driving with the heel. We can do what's often called the cross kick, where my leg is chambered slightly out and then presses with the heel out at an angle. So as we add all of these variations, all of these henka of mai geri, and all of these henka or variations of mawashi geri, you can see that mai geri, mawashi geri as a fighting combination takes on a multitude of possibilities. We can go groin, thigh, take them out that way. We can go knee, body, take them that way. We can go groin, rising kick, angle roundhouse to the head. So the exact version of each henka that we use can give you a whole variety of mai geri, mawashi geri combinations. There's a lot in there. And I'm not gonna, again, floor's cold, my feet are freezing here. I'm not gonna go into it more than that, but that's essentially what it is. We set that up in terms of kumite. I might throw my mai geri a couple times, or even off the front leg. Throw my mai geri, and then throw it, and pivot. Off the back leg, back leg, boom, boom, kick, kick. So, and then with any of those mawashi combinations. There's a lot in there, a lot of fun things to practice, try out on the bag with a partner, training partners slowly. And in kumite, in sparring, once you gear up and have some protection on, a lot of ways to throw that, a lot of potential targets. Mai geri is not always here. Again, kinteki, but kicking into the thigh, into the inner thigh, across. If the guy comes with his punch here, now my front kick into the inner thigh. Didn't mention toe kicks. Okay, yubiwaza, front kick, striking just with the toe. That's really old school Okinawan. Wechi-ryu is a system where they still very much emphasize that. I knew an individual who could actually kick a hole in a canvas bag with his toe kick. There's a Wechi-ryu practitioner, several, but one that I've seen frequently, who will break boards, multiple boards, 2, 3, 4 boards by kicking with his toe. So that's another front kick option. So with all the front kick options, keage, snapping, kekomi, thrusting, cross kick, forward stomping, push kick, very common in MMA, asoko, kinteki geri, with your front kick variations, then add on the end of any of those given front kicks, the mawashi variation, up, around, down, or through, without putting the leg down between the front and the roundhouse kick. Yeah? That'll be fun to play with. My kata, my baseline version for my dojo, is the standard mai geri with the ball of the foot, the keage, the snap version, front snap kick, and then the mawashi, long range, top of the foot. That's my kata version that I teach in the dojo, both standing and then moving across the floor. Like, share, subscribe. Thanks for joining. Hopefully that was somewhat informative and gives you some things to practice and work on in your own dojo. As always, oh, yeah, I said that. Like, share, subscribe. My website is up, orumseidokankarate.com, at GoDaddy, or orumseidokankarate.godaddy pages, something like that. There's a link in my Facebook, and I'll try to remember to add it to the comment or the description below here. As always, then, until next week, let's keep practicing.